This is 1.3, naming covalent compounds. For this one, if you look on your periodic table, covalent compounds, before we were doing, one had a positive charge. It was either group 1 or 2 or 3, or one of the transition metals with a negative charge. Those are ionic, but covalent compounds are going to come all from your non-metals down here. So when there's a compound that has 2 of these, how you name those and write those. So do a few examples. Say you're given SO2, and now to write the names of covalent compounds, you just, same thing as before, you put sulfur, and then all of your subscripts for covalent compounds just turn into prefixes in the name. So sulfur, it doesn't have a subscript, so it doesn't get a prefix, but oxygen, same thing, drops the ending, you add "ide", so it's going to be oxide. But since it's 2, it's going to be dioxide, sulfur dioxide. And for covalent compounds, you have mono is 1, di is 2, tri is 3, tetra is 4, and penta is 5. So just remember that. To do another example, if you're given P2S5, you're going to need to just translate the subscripts into prefixes. So the P stands for phosphorus, so this is going to be diphosphorus, and then the 5, if you look down here, is penta. So diphosphorus pentasulfide, because the S is sulfur, and again you drop the ending and add "ide", so diphosphorus pentasulfide. Now if you're going the other way from a name to a formula, say you're given diboron trioxide. You just look for what elements you have and then make them subscripts. So boron has di, so that's going to be 2, and oxide is oxygen, 3. So B2O3. No balancing charges needed or anything like that. You just take the prefixes and make them subscripts. And then one more example of that is if you were given dinitrogen monoxide, that's going to be nitrogen, 2, because of the di, and then mono means 1, so that'd be oxygen with a 1, but you don't need to write that. You can just leave it as N2O. Now the subscripts for 1, mono, it only needs to be used on the second element. Like, for example, if it was, you would never say like mononitrogen oxide. If the subscript is 1 on the first element, you just leave it as nitrogen monoxide. That would be nitrogen monoxide. But on the second element, you always need a prefix. So if the subscript is 1 on the second element, that becomes mono. So that's why dinitrogen monoxide is N2O. And that's all.